So after Mr. Ziva read the judgment to Moyo, Moyo responded by saying, "Open court. You can pass any sentence that you want. I'm not satisfied with this judgment. I want to appeal. Just give me my sentence so I can go. Pass me some papers so that I can appeal at the High Court. Whether this court exercises lenience or not, I don't care." Close court. That angered Mr. Ziva, who was presiding over the case. Hello guys, hello everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching from, whatever time it is that you are watching this video. Hello and welcome to yet another episode of Real Crimes. Yeah, it's been hard. It's actually been quite hard to create more content because of time constraints. My new job is quite demanding, but I will definitely do my best to keep the channel alive. So yeah, whenever I get time to record something, I will definitely do it. And so please don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to share, don't forget to comment. I always like to hear your comments. There's actually somebody who suggested something about talking about unidentified bodies in Zimbabwe, like people that have died and they've not been identified. I am still looking into that. I'm still doing some research on that. I found just 2 cases so far, so I want to see if I can get more before I can actually come up with a video. But yeah, thank you for that suggestion, and I'm definitely working on it. Okay, so in today's episode of Real Crimes, we are going to talk about a man who left the court surprised, as well as left a magistrate angry because of his response to a judgment. So the year is 2016 and the month is October, and the country is Zimbabwe, our beautiful Zimbabwe, in the city of kings and queens, Kobulawayo. So there was a man by the name of Moyo. Okay, so Moyo is a very common name, right? Not just in Bulawayo, not just in Matabeleland, but basically in Zim, Moyo is a very common name. So I'm definitely going to put his full name. So what happened is while Moyo was minding his own business with his friend, he actually had a friend called Simba. Okay, again, I'll put his full name there. Not Simba, Chuma. So I'll put his full name again. So these 2 friends, I don't know if this was what they did all the time or if this was their first time doing it, but they decided to rob some people that change money. Okay, so they booked a hotel room at Selborne Hotel and stayed over there, and then they started looking for people that like change money, because they were pretending that they wanted to change some money. So they found 2 guys, Simba and his friend Ngulube. Okay, I will put their names in full again. So when they invited these guys to their hotel room, telling them, we have so much money and we want to change it. So do you guys have this? We need to change the money now. We actually just booked into a hotel. Probably they pretended that they were from outside the country. These are tourists or these are visitors into the country that want to change money. And these guys, Simba and Gulube, this being their job, they were like, okay, cool, we're coming through. So they went to the hotel. And when they got to the hotel, Chuma and Moyo decided to execute their plan. Now, their plan was to rob these 2 of whatever they had on them, whatever money that they had on them. And it turns out that between the two of them, Simba and Ngulube, had 30,000 rand and 600 US dollars. So they robbed them of this money. Now, when Simba and Ngulube realized that something is wrong, we are being robbed. Okay, there are two versions to what actually happened. The first version is that Simba and Ngulube realized that, okay, we are in danger, we are being robbed. So they decided to run. And then when they were trying to run away, one of these guys, whether it was Chuma or it was Moyo, opened fire. I want to believe it was Moyo, because Moyo is the one who was then found in possession of the gun. So I want to believe Moyo opened fire, and when Moyo opened fire, the gun jammed. Nothing went out, no bullet went out. So they started fighting over the gun. So while they were fighting over the gun, that is Ngulube and Moyo were fighting over the gun went off and Ngulube was shot on the knee. In the meantime, Simba was he opened the balcony door and started screaming to the public that, hey, something is going down here. So people actually waited at the entrances for these two guys to come down. And then they tried to flee the scene from the hotel, and Moyo was caught by the public. And he was beaten up, apprehended, and taken to the police. But his colleague, his friend, his accomplice was still at large by the time that Moyo was sentenced. The other version is that when Ngulube and Simba realized that they were being robbed, they tried to run away. In the process of running away, Moyo opened fire. The first bullet missed. The second one hit Ngulube on the knee. That's how he ended up with the knee injury. Okay, but either way, the bottom line is Ngulube was shot on the knee in the process of being robbed by Chuma and Moyo. Okay, and Moyo was apprehended. Chuma ran away. Right, so came October of 2016, and we are in the courtroom. And this is the last day of this case coming before the courts. And obviously, Moyo was found guilty. He pleaded not guilty, actually. He pleaded not guilty to attempted murder. He pleaded not guilty to armed robbery. He pleaded not guilty. So then he was found guilty. I suppose the evidence was overwhelming. And one of the pieces of the evidence that was actually presented in court was that when they searched Moyo, they found the gun in his undergarments. So, yeah, that was the gun. The smoking gun was found on him. So, yeah, I mean, that said something, right? Whether he had picked it from somewhere and decided to take it or what, but the thing is, he was found in possession of the gun. So that just spelled guilty, guilty, guilty to the investigating officers, to the prosecutor, to the magistrate. So anyway, on the day of the sentencing, the magistrate announced his sentence. He said Moyo was getting a total of 22 years behind bars. And I suspect he would save those concurrently, because he got 10 years for one count of armed robbery, and he got 12 years for the other one, which was attempted murder. So he actually ended up with 22, and I suspect he would save those concurrently, meaning he would probably just stay for 12 years, and probably the guy, when he gets to prison, they would slash some of his years, and probably if he negotiated in court, he would get, like some of his years being cut down. But here's what he said. Moyo was not having it. Moyo was not going to ask for any lenience. He was not going to, like, when like how they do it in the courts, like when after they pronounce the sentence, they ask for any, what do they call them, mitigating factors, anything that could help somebody to have their sentence reduced. He said he didn't have any. He had nothing to say. In actual fact, Moyo said something that angered the magistrate and that left the court in shock. Like, you are being given a platform here to air your views, to ask for help, to ask for a reduced sentence. But no, this is what he said. So after Mr. Dziva read the judgment to Moyo, Moyo responded by saying, open court, you can pass any sentence that you want. I'm not satisfied with this judgment. I want to appeal. Just give me my sentence so I can go. Pass me some papers so that I can appeal at the High Court. Whether this court exercises lenience or not, I don't care. Close court. That angered Mr. Dziva, who was presiding over the case. I'm sure the magistrate could not even believe it, and even people in the gallery could not even believe it when they heard Moyo saying those words like, you got guts. Anyway, that actually indeed angered the magistrate, who responded by saying, open court. You can't even ask politely for papers, so I won't give you. Your offenses were committed in aggravating circumstances. On top of that, you show no remorse over your offenses. You are a societal misfit. You have no respect for life. There is no room for lenience for you, so no years will be suspended from your sentence. Close court. I can actually see the magistrate's face, like trying to keep his face professional, trying to keep his voice professional, but at the same time boiling inside, like, what is wrong with you? But anyway, that's what he said. So yeah, as Moyo was being accompanied by the prison, or is it the prison service officers, or is it the Zimbabwe Republic Police officers, from the box going down to go and start his sentence, he actually pointed at Ngulube, his victim, with two fingers resembling a gun. Now that's a threat right there. I'm coming for you. I'm coming after you. Who has the guts to do that even still in court? Like, you just received 22 years and you are still going on to actually threaten your victim. Like, what if he wakes up dead? Do people wake up dead? I don't know. Kumuka wakafa. What if, like, one day, boom, he's just gunned down? Wouldn't people suspect you? Wouldn't people, like, think you were behind it? But anyway, he did it. That's how crazy Moyo was. That's how angry he was. He probably felt that he was not sentenced fairly. He probably felt that, or he believed that, or he knew he had not done it. Maybe his colleague had done it. But now, because you know how society is, you know how we people are. When somebody has done something, we want somebody to be held accountable. So probably it wasn't even him who fired, but it was his friend who fired and fled the scene. But because he was caught, probably that's the reason he had to actually end up behind bars. And probably that's what happened, and that's why he wasn't very happy with the sentence. Probably he felt like some things were not considered and some investigations were not done enough, and maybe he thought that the police did not do enough to try and catch Ngulube so that he also could be brought to book. I don't know his reasons for doing that, But yeah, he did it. He threatened his victim right in front of all these people, in front of the witnesses, in front of the magistrate, in front of the police officers, in front of the prison services officers. He did it. How crazy can one be? I don't know. I tried to look if he at any point then applied for an appeal. I couldn't get any more information beyond that. The only last piece of information that I got is that he was sentenced to 22 years in prison, and his accomplice Ngulube, not Ngulube, Chuma, was still at large. His accomplice's name was Chuma, not Ngulube. Ngulube was actually the victim. So yeah, by the time that I okay, but the all the pieces of evidence, all the pieces of information rather that I could find just indicated that the last we know of Moyo, he had been sentenced to 22 years, and his friend was still at large. Interesting. Anyway, guys, that's a story for today about Moyo, who shocked the court by telling the magistrate that I just don't care. He didn't care what kind of sentence he was given. He just wanted to be given the sentence so that he could move on with his life. Start on an appeal. Crazy stuff. But yeah, it happens. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. Thank you for stopping by. Please don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to share. Do share. Tell your friends that we got some real crimes happening here. And yeah, come, let's talk about crime. Let's talk about crime that's been happening in Zim, outside Zim, and Africa, anyway and everywhere where Africans are thriving. All right, guys, so thank you. And yeah, do keep safe, stay safe. There is still COVID out there. So do keep yourself safe. Do keep your families safe. Do what you need to do to stay safe. Do what you need to do to keep your families safe. And be blessed. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.